There's a specific kind of person, the one who doesn't need to be seen to take themselves seriously. They train without announcing it, build without posting it, disappear without explaining it, and when they return, they're different. Not louder, just stronger. In solo leveling, Sung Jin Woo started as the weakest hunter alive. Not metaphorically, literally. E-rank, disposable, mocked. The guy you bring in because the system requires numbers. So here's the question. What if being the weakest wasn't the disadvantage? What if it was the setup? Because the people who level up alone rarely stay weak for long. And if you've ever felt underestimated, this is for you. Let's start here. Most people are terrified of being seen as weak. Jinwoo lived inside it. Every raid, he was the liability. Every conversation, he was the punchline. Every dungeon, he was the risk. But here's something psychology reveals. When expectations are low, pressure disappears. Research on the underdog effect shows that individuals perceived as disadvantaged often develop stronger internal drive and persistence because they stop performing and start building. When no one expects you to win, you're no longer distracted by reputation. You're focused on survival. Think about your own life. If you're the quiet one at work, the overlooked student, the underestimated athlete, you're free. Free to fail privately, free to improve quietly, free to grow without scrutiny. Jinwoo didn't have hype, he had hunger. And hunger builds differently than ego ever could. Here's where the transformation really begins. Jinwoo's leveling wasn't public. There was no guild celebration, no audience, no praise loop, just dungeon after dungeon, pain after pain, stat after stat. Alone. Cal Newport, in Deep Work, describes how uninterrupted focus allows individuals to rapidly increase skill acquisition. Distraction destroys depth. And modern life is addicted to distraction. Notifications, validation, constant commentary. Most people can't sit alone for 5 minutes without opening Instagram and calling it research. But growth requires silence. Neuroscience research on the brain's default mode network shows that when we are in internally focused states without external stimulation, the brain engages in reflection, planning, and identity consolidation. In simple terms, when you're alone, your brain builds. Jinwoo's power didn't just increase physically. His clarity sharpened. Every solo dungeon was not just combat training. It was psychological conditioning. You know what it feels like to sit alone and think deeply? To build something no one else sees? Most people can't tolerate that. You can. That's not weakness. That's capacity. Let's be honest, being alone sounds empowering until you're actually alone. No distraction, no performance, no external noise, just you. And that's uncomfortable. Nguyen, Ryan, and Desi found that voluntary solitude supports emotional regulation and self-integration, but only when chosen intentionally. Forced loneliness feels empty. Chosen solitude feels powerful. There's a difference. Jinwoo chose the grind. He chose the dungeon, chose the risk, chose the repetition. And that choice is what separates growth from stagnation. Now think about your own life. When you're alone, do you scroll or do you build? Do you distract or do you reflect? Do you escape or do you confront? Most people drown silence in noise, but the weakest hunter learned to sit in it, and silence became his weapon. But let's not romanticize it. Jinwoo wasn't calm in that dungeon. He was terrified. Terrified that he would die meaningless. Terrified that this weak, fragile version of himself was all he could ever be. The double dungeon wasn't inspiring. It was humiliating, helpless, cold. He wasn't thinking about destiny. He was thinking, I'm not enough. And if we're being honest, you've thought that too. You watch people your age already winning, already confident, already ahead, and you feel late, like you started the race after everyone else. You scroll, you compare, you measure your beginning against someone else's chapter 20, which is like judging your level 1 character against someone who already unlocked New Game Plus. And it hurts. That quiet feeling of, maybe I'm just not built for this. That's the real dungeon. Not monsters, not ranks, doubt. And here's what matters. Jin Woo didn't conquer the dungeon because he felt strong. He endured it while feeling weak. That's the difference. Courage isn't confidence. It's movement despite fear. And growth doesn't begin when you believe you're powerful. It begins when you decide to continue while believing you're not. Here's the moment most viewers miss. Jin Woo didn't change because he gained strength. He gained strength because he changed. At some point, his internal dialogue shifted. He stopped seeing himself as fragile. He started seeing himself as inevitable. Psychology research on identity-based behavior shows that lasting change occurs when behavior aligns with a new self-concept, not just a goal. You don't level up habits, you level up identity. When you begin thinking, I am someone who trains, I am someone who builds, I am someone who endures, everything shifts. Jin Woo stopped asking, how do I survive this? He started thinking, how do I dominate this? That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. If you've ever felt weak, maybe the real question isn't, how do I get stronger? Maybe it's, who am I becoming? Now, here's something most people misunderstand. Leveling up alone does not mean rejecting connection. Jin Woo didn't isolate because he couldn't belong. He isolated because he was building. There's a difference between being excluded and choosing to withdraw. Society assumes that if you're alone, you must be lonely, but those aren't the same thing. Loneliness is craving connection you don't have. Solitude is choosing space you need. And Jin Woo chose the dungeon, the grind, not because he hated people, but because he refused to depend on them. Later, he forms alliances, commands, shadows. But notice something, he no longer needs approval. Long and Averill describe solitude as restorative when it aligns with internal complexity. In simple terms, if your inner world is rich, external silence doesn't feel empty. It feels productive. Some of you watching this don't feel lonely alone. You just feel tired after pretending to be interested in small talk about the weather for 40 minutes. You feel drained in crowds, exhausted by shallow interaction, overstimulated by constant noise. That's not dysfunction, that's selectivity. And selectivity is power. Jin Woo didn't reject people. He rejected dependence. And that's what made him sovereign. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people want transformation, but they want it witnessed. They want the training arc, just not the part where it's boring. They want the before and after moment. They want applause during the process, but compounding discipline happens in private, when no one's watching, when no one cares. The dungeon didn't care about Jin Woo's feelings. It responded only to strength. Life is similar. Results don't respond to excuses. They respond to repetition. If you're building something right now in silence, a skill, a body, a career, a mindset, you're in your dungeon, and that phase feels invisible. Every transformation has a phase nobody witnesses. For Jin Woo, it was the repetition, the grinding, the small stat increases, the bleeding hands. No cinematic music, no applause, no dramatic speech, just incremental progress. That's the phase most people quit in because it feels invisible. In your own life, this might look like studying while your friends relax, training while nobody compliments you, saving money while others spend, working on a skill that no one understands yet. But invisibility is where compounding happens. Think about early Jinwoo. If someone had judged him based only on his current rank, they would have missed the trajectory. And trajectory is more important than position. You might not be strong right now, but are you stronger than last month? You might not be confident yet, but are you clearer than last year? Growth isn't loud, it's consistent. The world only sees the Shadow Monarch. It doesn't see the thousands of dungeons before him. And that's how it works in real life too. People will call it sudden, but you'll know it wasn't. There's one more thing solitude builds: resilience. When you grow alone, you learn to regulate yourself. You don't need hype to continue. Nguyen and colleagues found that chosen solitude supports emotional regulation and self-alignment. That means when challenges come, and they will, you don't collapse. You've already faced yourself in silence. That's what the double dungeon represented. It wasn't just a fight for survival. It was confrontation, fear, helplessness, mortality. And Jinwoo didn't run, he endured. Most people only discover their limits in public. The ones who level up alone discover them privately. And when the public pressure finally arrives, they're ready, because they've already faced worse without witnesses. And this is where philosophy catches up to anime. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Think about that. Jinwoo didn't dye his mind in comparison or bitterness or self-pity. He dyed it in repetition, in discipline, in endurance. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Read that again. Not masters of others, master of himself. Before Jinwoo ruled the shadows, he ruled his reactions. Before he dominated dungeons, he dominated doubt. Freedom didn't arrive when he became powerful. Freedom arrived when he stopped waiting to feel ready, when he stopped asking for permission, stopped measuring himself against others. That's sovereignty. And sovereignty is internal before it's visible. The weakest hunter became sovereign long before he became feared. The final boss was never the dungeon, it was the voice in his head. And once he mastered that, everything else followed. There's a specific kind of person, the one who doesn't need to be seen to become stronger. They disappear, and when they return, they don't explain it, they don't defend it, they're just different. You were never weak, you were early. And the weakest hunter was only the beginning.